won that battle so decisively, and then said, all right, I'm going to take out a hatchery, not just one, I'm going to take out another hatchery, and this one is going to go down as well, and at the same time, he's also attacking here with a drop at the top right-hand side, so this is Lomo's chance to capitalize and regain control of this game. There is an Overlord bomb drop, though, coming down to this planetary fortress, and Lomo is in some trouble here, but I don't know if losing this PF really makes all that much of a difference. It is, you know, the silver lining around a dark cloud here for ColdFront, as he's lost basically almost three hatcheries. And it looks like he will be able to take out that planetary fortress. These ultras is doing a fantastic job. Oh my god, they're actually, those two just killed off that entire squad of Marines and Marauders. Incredible. Just goes to show how powerful ultras are in the late game now. You know, with their ability to cleave through any type of unit. Doesn't matter if it's armored or light. Those look like Lomo's here, gonna go ahead and once again drop with a couple of Marines. Finally, a squad comes down to the bottom and is able to liberate this expansion. There is a random Ultralisk coming over to the main, and I guess he wants to go ahead and defect to the Terran side, but Lomo says no deal, and he takes out that Ultralisk. At the top, we do have another Nidostorm coming up with a hatchery on the way, coming to replace the fallen one. And we do have another medevac coming down to the bottom right-hand side. You'll note this lane, this center area between the two main bases has been used quite excessively for drop play throughout this game. So it would be prudent here for both players to go ahead and erect some type of anti-air defense. I would love to see a bunch of missile turrets here and Widow Mines at this location. Same for the Zerg. Throw up a bunch of spores, spines, and whatnot to help protect your, you know, the airspace between your two bases. I'm not too sure why he hasn't done that yet. Probably because he still hasn't really established a hatchery yet. And oh, what a juke right there by that medevac. Says, I got skills now, boys. I've got the ability to dodge your fungal growth. So very nice dodge right there. And he gets home out of the way with those 8 Marines. Those 8 Marines have gotta be so glad that they did not get fungled there. Very, very lucky indeed. Meanwhile, at the top-hand side, it looks like a couple of drones here under attack. I don't know how those drones got there, but they will go down as Lomo looks to establish another expansion. 54 workers to 47 workers lost so far. Very, very close. 60 to 39. A big attack coming in from ColdFront with all of his Ultras and Zerglings, but is it going to be enough? Cracklings are pretty good, and so are Ultras at this stage in the game, but that's a lot of Marines and Marauders under Caduceus Reactored Medevacs, and I think it should be enough here for Lomo to go ahead and make a hold, but reinforcements arriving here from ColdFront, and thinks better of it as he decides to fall back. Doesn't want to attack into that narrow passageway with a siege tank set up right there as well. I think that was a smart decision, and he is going to go ahead and pull away. Current hatchery count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hatches for ColdFront, and about 5 bases for Lomo. Extremely close right now, but you can see the supply differential has swung now in favor of the Terran player, 175 to 141. Those Ultralisks, though, just really, I mean, yes, they're only 8 supply, but honestly, they just took out like a 15 supply army right there, and that Ultralisk made it look easy. 5-3 fully upgraded Ultralisks just ripped through Marines and Marauders. And I don't know why Lomo doesn't have more battlecruisers right now. More battlecruisers, more siege tanks, maybe a more heavy emphasis on Marauders instead of Marines, because Marauders do counter Ultralisks. I definitely feel like the continual usage, I feel like he's making too many Marines here, and those Ultras, the Infestors, the Cracklings are just, you know, they're just making mincemeat of them. So maybe Lomo needs to rethink his composition just a little bit. Will he be able to get that hatchery? Yes, he will. And so the hatchery is going to fall down. Units lost currently in this game getting pretty astronomical. 49,000 to 29,000. Big attack coming in here from Lomo, and this time he's got medevac support as well and siege tank support. So I think it might be time for ColdFront to go ahead and evacuate here. Get through the Nidosworm! Unfortunately, the Nidosworm can only take 1 unit at a time. The Ultralisk was just a little bit too fat today, so he was not able to get out of harm's way. He's going to be sent in to die. And another Ultralisk bites the dust, but the Terran player, more importantly, is able to shut down this hatchery and establish it for himself. I would fully expect Lomo to go ahead and throw down a command center here. You know, while I would say about half the resources here have been drained, but not everything, not entirely everything. But it is important to note that ColdFront did steal money basically from Lomo at this position. And if this game gets down to the point where every base is being mined out, that definitely matters, you know? At the end of this game, Lomo is going to really find himself hurting because he doesn't have the full resource stacks available here to him. And of course, that money was stolen by ColdFront. And ColdFront's coming in with these cracklings once again. Looks like he wants to break down through these rocks, and he should be able to... it looks like the troops are coming back up, and we'll be able to protect the rocks here, thereby protecting that expansion. And Lomo able to make another secure defense. Down on the bottom side, we do have a couple of cracklings here running back and forth underneath this orbital command. Not too sure how they were able to get the orbital to go ahead and lift off there, but they are able to burrow one underneath the orbital command. Gonna force some troops here from Lomo to go ahead and come back home and get rid of these pesky cracklings. We do have more battlecruisers on production right now for Lomo, which is very smart. Like I said before, in the very late game, you want to start to make more of an emphasis, I feel like, on battlecruisers. Now, of course, the armory doesn't necessarily share all the upgrades anymore for Terran mech on the ground and in the air. It only shares the armor upgrade. It doesn't share the weapons upgrade, but it still shares half of it. Meaning that I still feel like battlecruisers are a good and natural transition to combating Ultralisks in the late game. Yamato cannons with a lot of battlecruisers can definitely shut down Infestors and Ultras. And I feel like right now he needs to start to make more of a transition into that. Either that or stick to more of a Marauder-based composition. And that might be his keys here to go ahead and claim victory in this game. But we'll see. It's very close. 200 supply to 193 right now. 53 workers to 43. You know, just showing some of you guys the tabs right now. It's been absolutely insane. A couple of battlecruisers here getting ahead of themselves, but it looks like they're going to Yamato. And actually, should have Yamato the Infestor with full energy. It looks like Lomo had enough energy in the back anyways to shoot down another Yamato cannon. So he was able to target the Infestor with energy, thereby negating the possibility of a chain fungal growth. Some infested Terrans coming in behind this orbital, behind this planetary fortress. Damn, this game is crazy. That's all I gotta say about that. Yamato cannons coming in once again. Great ways to shut down Infestors. It's just to Yamato them. You know, you've got more range, you take it out, you don't have to worry about the Infestors anymore, and then with your battlecruisers, you take out the Ultralisks. Now, we do have another Nidus Worm coming up behind Lomo. He's not done with the Nidus Worms yet. ColdFront isn't, and he could load up all of his troops here into a Nidus as soon as that worm finishes. It does look like he's sending out some Corruptors right now, but the Corruptors actually have more upgrades than the battlecruisers do. The battlecruisers are only at 0-0 in fact. So no armor upgrades have ever come up for the Terran mech. Meanwhile, it does look like this Nidus Worm has been used, and ColdFront is coming in with his troops. He is going to be able to take out that planetary fortress. Beautiful plays here. Another worm coming up just on top of this now fallen planetary fortress. And of course that might be used so that these troops can go ahead and evacuate and get home safely. And it looks like that's exactly what it's going to be used for. Meanwhile, at the middle of the map, it looks like those BCs were pushed away now. ColdFront thinking about making an attack here, but he's got this, basically this office building in the way. And that doesn't bode well for him. He needs to actually have an open area to go ahead and attack. That's a lot of Marines, Marauders, and Siege Tanks though. Both armies near max. And those Ultras that were on offensive duty need to come back home. I think they are back home. These are the Ultras. And at this point, ColdFront needs to play this very carefully. Definitely feel like he needs some Infestors with his army in order to fungal this army down, this Terran army down, and then surround from as many sides as possible. As Zerg, you want to swarm around the enemy Terran army. As far as Lomo goes, he needs to be careful here. Pick his fights. You know, stay close to these buildings because you can kite around the buildings here. You can stay even close to the edges of the map as you move forward, and that allows you a lot of flexibility when it comes to using natural terrain to help defend and attack. So we'll see if Lomo does that. It does look like he's dealing with this Nidus Worm in the back, and he's going to be able to take it down. No problem. Very, very crazy game right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases for ColdFront. He needs to establish his base. I don't know what is taking him so long. He never even built a hatchery here. So he does look like now he's going to go ahead and plant that down. Of course, he's still got more money than the Terran player does. So, I mean, you know, it just amazes me that he hasn't grabbed hatcheries at where you'd normally expect a Zerg to get them. But but he still has more bank than the Terran player does. Really incredible. And of course, a lot of that coming down to the fact that he stole money from these bases and these Nidus Worms, which have really shut down the Terran player's ability to mine safely throughout this game. Incredible. And ColdFront coming in once again with these 5-3 Ultralisks. They're just proving to be such a difficult task for the Terran to handle. It does look like Lomo pulling back here, but Lomo, look at this Marauder count now. He's got almost as many Marauders as he's got Marines, maybe about half and half, and he's got Siege Tank support as well. So this time around, I definitely feel like the Ultras are not going to be as effective when it comes to combating this army. We'll see. This is a great position for Lomo, who's sieged up most of his tanks. Absolutely brilliant. And he's backed up Marines just as a reserve party to be sent in, the cavalry, if you will, to come in and clean up should it be necessary. And it looks like that entire Zerg army falls down in one fell swoop. Incredible plays right there by Lomo. Beautiful micro. Good decisions, you know, where to fight and when to fight, and it looks like he is going to be able to cancel a hatchery and continue this march of death. He's got some siege tanks with 20 kills or so, 29 kills on that siege tank. He's got to be careful here, though. I think it might be time to go ahead and evacuate and call it a day. There we go, boost out of there. And really, you know, you cancel a hatchery, good enough. You don't need to overextend. You know, sit on your lead and continue to capitalize. That's how you want to play a game of StarCraft 2 at this very high level when both players are very evenly matched. Poor Zerglings going down, but it does clear the way for these Ultralisks to maybe make an attack here. And I guess right now, you know, ColdFront had a bigger bank, so as Zerg, you can re-macro a lot faster than a Terran can. So actually right now, ColdFront with the possibility of a counterattack, and he's going to be able to take out this planetary fortress. But that's about it. The orbital can replace it, so not a really a crushing victory right there for the Zerg player. And we have a massive drop coming in from the bottom right here, with all these medevacs bringing in a squad of forces, a legion of Lomo's finest warriors here, able to take out that hatchery. And it does look like ColdFront just out of position, will lose that hatchery, but we do have another Nidus Storm coming up. ColdFront says, all right, you want to drop me? I've got a way to drop you as well. And I'm coming in with a Nidus Storm, but the medevacs are actually on their way back here. So I think this worm is going to be shut down, although the troops are out already, so maybe not. And Lomo is just out of there. He says, okay, fine, I concede, you can have that. Meanwhile, he's also been able to get some troops into the main base of ColdFront. At the same time, Ultras and Zerglings running through the middle of the map. Gonna look to cancel this orbital, but the orbital, of course, can fly in the air. A lot of just action going on all over the place. Infested Terrans coming out behind this expansion. Ultras have forced this orbital command to lift off. Marine's gonna take out the spawning pool. Absolutely terrible right there for the Zerg to lose a spawning pool at this stage in the game. He has to rebuild it. Cracklings right now are very cost effective, you know, when it comes down to dwindling resources. And right now he's got to remake that spawning pool ASAP pronto. Gonna maybe lose the main hatchery as well, but it looks like some Broodlords are back here and will be able to save it. Some Ultras now evacuating through another Nidus Worm. I can't tell which portion of ColdFront's troops are above ground and which are inside the worm network. It's very hard to tell as the troops are just mobilizing all over the place, just showing how high level this game of Heart of the Swarm is. As Lomo comes in, he will be able to force this command center to lift off, putting it in fire mode. But the firefighters are here and they're going to put that out as the Ultras and Zerglings going to go ahead and retreat back. The Zerg swarm here on the move. Great play so far. I really can't find any faults in the decision making of these two players throughout this game. It's just been a back and forth struggle for dominance in this battle, in this matchup, and it's been absolutely incredible to watch. Right now, you know, the income is showing that both players are running really low on money, 35-14, but there are still bases, there is still money to be made on the map. So, you know, keeping your income count high with your SCVs and your drones is very important right now, as ColdFront comes in with this army. And if he could get a fungal right there, it looks like he's going to be able to get one, but it really caught the end tail of that army. He might go for another fungal growth here. He's actually sending one Infestor on a Rambo mission. There is no detection here. And this Infestor, what is he going to do? Maybe just going to park himself behind this expansion and then throw down some Infested Terrans later on in this game, I suppose. Or he could spring a trap from behind as the main army comes in through the front. It does look like Lomo might just realize that there's an infestor here. Perhaps he's just pulling his army away because he sees the Brute Lords coming in. So this is interesting right now as the Zerg player is planning to make an attack. There is a medevac coming across this worm down on the bottom side of the map, the dropping lanes. And ColdFront here trying to make an attack through. But Lomo, you know, he's got the high ground. And what about that infestor in the background can definitely be used at some point in this game. Battle cruisers coming in, trying to Yamato Brute Lords. Very nice job right there, taking out Brute Lords left and right. The drop is successful. It will get into the new base here for ColdFront, and he doesn't have troops anywhere in position to deal with this. So this hatchery is going to go down to 3-3 Marines. Infested Terrans coming out from the infestor, and that right there might have been a mistake by ColdFront. Not too sure why he threw out the infested Terrans there. I would have thought maybe he was going to go with a two-pronged attack while the army was occupied at the front, trying to take out the SCVs from behind. But now he's kind of revealed his card, and this infestor will probably get comsatted. There we go. So infestor down. Medevac here just trying to find another dropping lane to go ahead and get in and do more damage. It's 55 minutes now, and let's just take a look at the units tab. 9 Ultras, 9 Infestors, 2 Brute Lords, 4 tanks, 12 Marines, 12 Marauders, 33 Marines, a battle cruiser, and 10 medevacs. So it's very, very close. 142 supply to 118. Can you guys predict who's going to win this game? Because I honestly say I cannot. I don't know who's going to take this victory. It's 42 workers to 16. So maybe the Terran army just a little bit bigger than this supply tab would otherwise show, because of course some of it's being taken up by the drones. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. Lomo trying to push away this Overlord and finally get rid of this Nidus Worm. The worms that have been the thorn in his side for this entire game. Zerg army, look at how big this is. Does he have queens next to his army as well to try to transfuse? It looks like he's got 2 queens on the map, but he's going to keep them back for transfuse or for inject larva duty rather than transfuse. I do agree with that. You know, you still need a couple of queens to inject larva to keep your larva tab high. You've got 35 larva right now for ColdFront, and he doesn't have a lot of bank though, so maybe he should pull his queens off the line to help assist. We have the drop coming in once again. This hatchery, I mean, this is like the 4th time the hatchery is going to go down. If ColdFront is not in position to deal with this, he's trying to retreat now. I don't agree with this. He was already all the way on the other side of the map. Maybe he should have just traded a base. You know, he could have taken out this base, but then again, the entire Terran army was here. Infested Terran comes in, Infestor comes in once again. It's like, oh, there you are. And once again, the medevac boosts out of there, just like a hit and run. Doesn't even leave his name or number, so you can't collect on your insurance. So the hatchery is down. This is where ColdFront needs to start thinking about maybe putting in a little bit of money for his homeowner's insurance policy, because he has certainly lost his hatchery more times than I could care to count. But we'll see as the medevac's coming in once again. So it's a heavily high crime neighborhood, this area, and Lomo's coming in with the Marines. The infestors are ready though. This time he's got a little bit of a natural defense. He will be able to fungal this army down, even with the Caduceus reactor medevac, keeping actually the Marines alive for an extended period of time there. And finally, those Marines are going to drop. So ColdFront is looking to establish expansion. There's still an infestor burrowed underneath this army, shooting out infested Terrans, and then getting quickly out of the way before the comsat reveals his infestor. And it's going to try to get back here, but there's a missile turret, and the combination of the missile turret and the planetary fortress denies that infestor from getting any more kills. Yeah, look at the money right now for both players. It's really low, 688, barely a drop of gas. The Terran is also running quite low on money himself. And of course, this is where mules really shine. He is making more money than the Zerg is due to these mules. And it's almost approaching max once again. Incredible game. 182 supply to 165 here. Is ColdFront planning another attack? This burrowed Zergling denying this orbital command from landing down and becoming what it wants to be. A new home for the Terran player, a new place to make money. And ColdFront's got to be careful here. He's got to pick his position wisely. I don't know if attacking through this corridor is the best idea. This is really not advisable. Not with the way this street is laid out. Look at how well defensed Lomo's position is here. And I don't know if ColdFront really wants to make an attack here. I would almost say, forget that. Go for the main base. Run into the main here and take out the factories and the starports. Why bother with trying to take out a position that's heavily defended by a Terran player? The race that has the obvious natural benefits of being the Turtle Terran, you know, being a turtle race. And once again, another drop coming in. Wow, this hatchery is going to go down again. His premium is definitely going to go up there. And ColdFront coming in with the Ultras and the Infestors. I don't know about this attack. Oh, this is going to be brutal. The Marines and Marauders just running away. A lot of Infested Terrans coming out. The Defectors are here. Join us, they say, but the Marines and Marauders say no. Planetary Fortress goes down, but you know what? Lomo, you know, he loses his building, his command center, but he defeats the entire Zerg army. I almost feel like that's a worthy trade. You crush the entire Zerg army for the cost of one command center, no problem. Guess what? You're Terran. You can replace it with another orbital command back at home. You can lift off this main one and bring it over here. And I don't think that was the best decision by ColdFront. He might have just started to get impatient right there. And maybe felt like, ah, man, this is going on an hour now. This is an hour game, and I still don't have the victory. I'm just gonna cross my fingers, hope to die, send all my forces in, and I guess see what happens. But I definitely think that was the wrong decision. Lomo's gotta be catching himself, you know, he's breathing a huge sigh of relief right now, realizing that, hey, the Zerg just gift wrapped the game for me. And now, you know, he can obviously make an attack with his army through the middle. The Zerg isn't making any money at all right now. Barely any money. This is the only base that's mining for him. Of course, the Terran isn't really, well, he's actually mining off of a base back here as well. So, obviously, Lomo can just sit back now. He's got about a 40 supply advantage. And this game might have just been decided with that last battle, with that last play by ColdFront, which, you know, up to this point, I think both players played near flawlessly, as perfect as can be. But that last episode right there probably was more of a, you know, getting impatient, feeling antsy, saying I want to end the game now, and I'm just gonna go in and, you know, hope that plays out. Unfortunately, it did not. But we'll see if ColdFront can still make a stand here. He's got some Infestors, but there's Battlecruisers there, and oh my god, Battlecruisers are so good against Infestors. Ouch. And it's just no hope, really. Infestors cannot get in range to Fungal, with BCs leading the way, and this hatchery is going to go down. That's the last mining hatchery for ColdFront. He's got to retreat. And GG calls ColdFront. He leaves the game. He has been defeated. Lomo, ladies and gentlemen, is victorious. Absolutely great way to start off a new set of casts here for the new year 2013. And I really don't have much to say about this game except 3 words. Epic, epic, epic. Incredible. That's 4 words. But I hope you guys enjoyed. This was an amazing StarCraft 2 cast. And if you guys did enjoy, go ahead and check me out. I'm at Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at HDStarCraft. If you guys have any great Heart of the Swarm professional replays, you watch any streamers playing, go ahead and have them send in their replays to me at HDreplays@gmail.com. For now, this is HDStarCraft, and I am signing out.